Hello to all members of the Academy. Today we're making a brand new module that talks specifically about how to find e-commerce clients for your agency. Now, in this phase, we've already taken a look at how to find physical businesses with the classic Google Maps lead sourcing method. And then we've taken a look at how to find a bunch of clients through LinkedIn prospecting. But as I said, in this module, we're going to be taking a look at 3 different methods that you can leverage to find e-commerce clients specifically for your agency. Now, if everything goes to plan, we're going to find a very qualified lead using either one of these 3 methods. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to use every single one of these 3 methods, and then hopefully one of these methods is going to yield a very qualified lead that I can then use to record a Loom in the next module. So right now I'm going to record 2 modules in a row. In this one, we're going to be taking a look at how to find the e-commerce clients, and then we're going to find a qualified lead, which I can send a Loom to in the next module. So yeah, without any further ado, let's jump into my computer and have a look at how to find e-commerce clients for your agency. So ladies and gentlemen, you should now be looking at my computer screen. As you can see, I've done a classic Google search for watch webshop. And so this first method that I'm going to show you reminds us a little bit about the classic lead sourcing method with Google Maps. But instead of just searching for local and physical businesses, we're going to be able to search for web shops specifically using this method, okay? So you can search for any industry and then follow up that word by web shop, okay? And so in this particular instance, I've searched for watch web shop. And usually when you want to scroll down and, just jump forward a few pages because the first couple sites that pop up are going to be very popular, and oftentimes they're going to be almost impossible to sign as clients. So now I've gone forward to page 3. Yeah, and so we just want to go ahead and open up a few different pages that we see, okay? Open link in new tab, just right click, press open link in new tab. We've got watches.com. Let's just check it out, why not? Sunto, oops, let me just go back and open up that in a new browser. Tab that is, Alpina watches, let's go for that as well. Okay, so now we open up 5 different tabs, 5 different web shops, I believe. So let's go through and look at every single one of these and see if they could be a qualified lead, okay? Coming into the first one here, Christian Hagen. Already straight off the bat, this looks absolutely horrible. And guys, in an instance like this, you could do some more research because it could be a potential client. But I can already tell just from looking at their website that this is not someone I would ever want to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and close that immediately and go on to the next one here. So we have watches.com. Now this looks like some sort of very basic dropshipping website, web shop. And it really surprises me that they've managed to get a hold of the name watches, the domain watches.com. Again, I don't think this is a very qualified lead. Let's go ahead and keep searching. Sunto, okay. So yeah, let's take a look. This looks a little bit more promising in my opinion, although the web shop does not look very good, and it's quite difficult to tell whether this is a web shop or a regular website. But what if we click shop now? Okay, so now obviously we're taken to a collections page with the prices listed, and so I don't think this is a Danish brand by any means, but they obviously have a Shopify. If this is on Shopify, they obviously have like a widget or an app installed that converts it into the local currency. So they can see by my IP that I'm located in Denmark, and so the prices are listed in Danish krones, okay? Now, what I like to do straight off the bat with a web shop like this, because this could potentially be, a qualified lead, I like to just research them on something called myip.ms. Now, myip.ms is a website that I used to use over 3 years ago when I did dropshipping back in the days. And so I would use this website for researching my competition and dropshipping web shops that were doing very well. But yeah, it can also be used for qualifying SMMA leads. So let's go ahead and copy paste. I'm not sure if we want to get the whole domain here. I think we're just going to go for... Actually, let's try with the whole domain first and see what happens. Paste that in here. Okay, so we can see that these guys have 2,500 visitors per day, okay? Now, this is actually a very good number. We've gotten quite lucky here. Now, what I usually like to do with this number is open up a calculator and go back and look at their prices for a second. If I just do like this so we can reach the calculator afterwards. Go back here, look at their prices, okay? So 3,200 kroners, 1,400 kroners. To those of you who don't know, 1 euro equals 7 Danish kroners. So we have to divide this number by 7 to get it in euros. and buy 6 to get it in dollars. So, but yeah, we're going to be calculating in euros right now because most of the Academy members are located in Europe. So looking here, 2,500 seems to be a quite common number. 2,000, 4,000, 1,400. I think it's pretty safe to say that maybe their average product price is going to be 2,500 kroners, which, you know, let's divide that by 7.5 to get in euros. So 2,500 divided by 7.5. Okay, so their average product price value selling point is going to be around 330 euros. Okay, so now we know this, and an average conversion rate for a web shop is around the 2% mark. Anything above 3% puts you in the top 20% of web shop conversion rates. Okay, but I think it's pretty safe to assume that these guys don't even have 2% conversion rate, since their products are in the higher price bracket and their web shop does not look that great altogether. So for this example, I think we're going to go with an average web shop conversion rate of 1%. Okay, so this means that for every 100 people that come into the web shop, one person purchases a product. Okay, that gives us a conversion rate of 1%. So if we take that, if we take those 2,500 average visitors per day, okay, 2,500, and we multiply that by 0 times 0.01, that's going to give us those 1% conversion rate. Okay, so out of 2,500 visitors daily, they're going to get 25 purchases per day. Now, if we times this by their average order value, which we just calculated to be around 300 euros, it might even be more if people purchase sale watches, but let's go for a low shot, which is 300 euros. So 25 times 300, that's going to give us 7,500 euros in daily revenue. Okay, now personally, I think this might even be setting the bar a little bit high. We might go down to 5,000 euros, but it's probably, their daily revenue is probably going to be around that 4,000 to 8,000 euro mark. Okay, but let's go with the 7,500 that we just calculated. There's a good chance that this number hits spot on. And so what you want to do with this number is times it, well, multiply it by 30, and that's going to give us their monthly revenue. Okay, so obviously you can see these guys are doing upwards of 200,000 euros in monthly revenue. So this is quite a large company, but as I said, our guess might have been a little bit high. So let's say, you know, hypothetically, let's go back to their 2,500 daily visitors, multiply that by 0.0075, which would give them a 0.75% conversion rate. So that would give them 18 purchases daily, and let's go for an average order value of 250 instead, and multiply that by 30. Okay, so that will give them a monthly revenue of 140k. Either way, we can see that their monthly revenue is going to be quite high, and so I'll recommend you guys to go for clients. Well, either way, we can see that their monthly revenue is going to be quite high, and this might even be a tad on the higher side. I would recommend you guys find clients that are maybe doing, around 50,000 euros in monthly revenue, maybe even 20 or 30k, because these are small businesses that are looking to grow. Whereas as soon as you get on the good side of 100k, it might be more difficult to sign them as a client. Nevertheless, this could be a qualified lead that we could contact. So guys, that was method number one. Jumping back into my computer here, we can see that it actually didn't take a whole lot of time finding a potentially qualified lead. We literally just searched for watch web shop, went to page 3, opened up a couple different links, did some research on the numbers using myip.ms, and pretty quickly we can see that this could potentially be a qualified lead. Okay. And you can do this with any industry, okay? So just put in a niche or an industry name here and follow it up by the keyword web shop, which usually brings up a lot of web shops related to that product niche, okay? Go a couple pages forward. You might even have to go to page 4, 5, 6 plus. But yeah, then you can usually find quite a few qualified leads by just opening all of the web shops you see up in new tabs and going through them individually. So guys, I'm just gonna close this because yeah, we never even got that far. We only checked out around 3 web shops before we found a potentially qualified lead, which was this one. So we're gonna keep this open. I'm gonna close this tab for now because we're gonna be moving on to the next ecom client lead sourcing method, okay? So for the second method, we're actually going to be coming back to myip.ms, but we're not going to be searching for a specific web shop in this field. Instead, you're going to come to myip.ms/browse/sites, okay? And that's going to take you to this page. And so you want to first click on this tab, and you're going to start here at the top. You just press S on your keyboard, which will take you down to hosts starting with S. Press Shopify right here, and then for the popularity, you usually want to aim for between 300 to 2,000, okay? Now, sometimes I say 500 to 5,000, but for most of you guys, if you're just starting out, 5,000 is going to be too much, which you could also tell by the calculations we just did on the website that had 2,500 daily visitors. Now, let's go out here and do another calculation example, okay? So let's say we have a web shop with 1,500 daily visitors, and we're gonna give them the average conversion rate, which is 2%. So we're gonna multiply that by 0.02, and then we're gonna give them a more realistic average order value of around, let's say 60 euros. So 30 times 60, which is gonna be their daily revenue. So 1,800 in daily revenue. Multiply this by 30 to get their monthly revenue. And so we can see that this is gonna be around 54,000 euros in monthly revenue. I don't know if I just said daily, I meant monthly, okay? And so we can see this is obviously gonna be a sweet spot, hitting, you know, a web shop with anywhere between all the way down to 300, but ideally, you know, 1,000, 1,500 daily visitors, okay? When you're getting on the good side of 1,500, you're probably moving up to web shops in a pretty big league. So yeah, even down in the hundreds of daily visitors can be very ideal. Dragging this back out to the side here to show you what this can actually do. Okay, so we searched Shopify, popularity in visitors per day, 300 to 2,000. Let's even just bump this down to 1,500 for now, just to make it a very realistic search. And then you put search, okay? And this is gonna list all web shops that are hosted by Shopify that have between 300 to 1,500 daily visitors, okay? And so you can literally just go through all of these web shops, copy paste the links here, Command T, Command V to copy paste, and then just open them up one by one, okay? And so what this is gonna do is it's gonna give you literally a bunch, well, thousands of web shops that you can go ahead and research in the same way that we researched the web shops that we found from Google. Let's just go back in here and open up a couple more. So we got Rona Combat. Again, guys, I have no idea what these sites do or sell. Shop shirt, that sounds interesting. Oops. Well, having some trouble here. Command C, Command T, Command V to make things quicker. Yeah, let's open up one more that sounds interesting. So we have Stussy here. I wouldn't have imagined Stussy to be down this low. World popular ranking 535,000. That can't be true. I just want to check that out for fun. Yeah, moving on here. Let's see if there's anything that sounds interesting. Usually you just want to look for names that look somewhat serious. A lot of these, you know, they just sound weird, and so I don't usually go for them. Like, yeah, a lot of these names just sound quite odd. So yeah, you just usually, you know, look for something that maybe contains a product name or something like a normal surname, okay? Yeah, anyway, let's go ahead and look through the 4 ones that we've opened up so far. So we got this one. This is a very artsy web shop, like obviously fashion. Let's go ahead and look at their products. Okay, so yeah, they got a Facebook pixel installed, which is always important to check. And they got, you know, somewhat nice looking products here at some pretty good price points. So actually, if we go ahead and copy this brand in here, well, you can also just click them directly here, but let's just copy it in here and see which kind of numbers these guys. Okay, so we hit the nail on the coffin, okay? 1,500 daily visitors. Obviously, let's go ahead and take a guess at what these guys could be doing in revenue, okay? So I'm gonna guess that they have a little bit of a lower conversion rate than, you know, most web shops, because their products are quite expensive. Coming back here, wait, let me go forward. Yeah, so, you know, 240 bucks. Okay, that's a pretty expensive product, at least compared to the average. Okay, so let's say 1,500. Let's give them a conversion rate of 0.9%. Okay, so 0.009. So that's going to give them 13 purchases on a daily basis. And let's give them an average order value of $200. So that's going to be $2,700 in daily revenue. Multiply that by 30, and you get $81,000 in monthly revenue. Okay, so obviously these guys could be very interesting to reach out to. Coming back out here, let's just take a look at some of the other ones that we opened up. Okay, this looks quite odd. Are these guys selling corona masks, or what is this exactly? This just doesn't look interesting. Honestly, I'm not just gonna close that immediately. Shop shirt looks pretty bad. Very cheap products. Definitely don't want to work with these guys either. I don't know. Yeah, so this where you can get like custom print on your shirts. Probably, yeah, not that interesting. And let's look at the Stussy one that we opened up. Is this the official Stussy website? It surprises me that they were that low on the rankings. Nevertheless, guys, we opened up around 4-5 different web shops that we just found on the lead list here, searching from 300 to 1500 in daily visitors. And obviously you guys can go ahead and tweak these numbers. You could go 200 to 800 daily visitors if you want to find very small clients, and you could go 1000 to 5000 plus daily visitors if you're looking for pretty large e-commerce brand. So guys, coming back in here, at this point we have 2 leads that look somewhat interesting. We have Purple brand right here with some nice denim jeans, and then we have Sunto sports watches right here. So yeah, those were the first 2 methods that we've gone ahead and looked at. Now let's take a look at the third one here, which is actually one I learned from one of the members of the Academy. Shout out to you, Adam. He put us onto this during an Academy live meeting. So with this one, you're gonna go into Instagram and you're gonna take a brand name. So let's just go ahead and see if we can find these guys on Instagram down here. Looks like it, yep, Instagram. So we don't even have to open it up ourselves. There we are. And okay, so we have their Instagram right here. And so the third method is all about this arrow right here, okay? Because what this arrow will do is it will give you more profiles that are kind of like the profile that you're on, okay? So you're gonna find more clothing brands, obviously, because we're in a clothing brand profile. Now, just by the look of their post right here, you can see it's very lifestyle oriented, and so for that reason we're getting like a lot of rappers down here in the recommended. But we can click something like ml.la, which we know is another clothing brand. I'm actually not able to open them in a new tab, so I'm just gonna click them, press this button again. As you can see here, we're getting a bunch of recommended clothing brands down here. So yeah, even the first one, what was this? Represent cloth. Okay, so 460,000 followers, but their engagement, to be honest, is quite low, only 2,000. Let's go ahead and look these guys up on myip.ms just for fun. Okay, so coming in here, copy pasting them in. What are going to guess at 6,000 daily visitors, 2,800 daily visitors. Okay, this was actually less than I expected. So yeah, let's take a look at their products, see what their average product value is. Now guys, these guys are already, they have a pixel. So yeah, go ahead and check them on ad library as well. They're probably running ads if I were to guess. Represent, Clo, there they are, all ads. Okay, so they're running 1 ad currently. Shop now and pay in 4 interest-free installments with ClearPay. Not a very nice ad, to be honest. It doesn't look like they have a very good agency representing them. They might even be doing the ads themselves. But let's go back to the web shop here, take a look at their products and their average product value. Shop fall winter 20. Let's have a look. Okay, so we're around 180 pounds, 90 pounds. Okay, some pretty expensive products as well. I think it's quite safe to put these guys' average order value at least 250 pounds. These guys are probably doing some pretty good numbers, and they have a very nice looking web shop as well. Let's open up a product. It's kind of like a mix between To be honest, I'm not a big fan of brands like this. It's a little bit of a mix between something like Off-White, Virgil Abloh's Off-White, and something more low like Axel Arigato. This looks like a fusion between the two. This is very Axel Arigato, which I'm not a fan of either. Actually, I have a pair of sneakers from them, but very bad quality. Nevertheless, looks like a good web shop. They could improve something here. It doesn't look too smooth, but yeah. Guys, average, let's put their average order value at 250 pounds, might even be higher, but again, let's do the calculation right here. So yeah, but yeah guys, let's do the calculation here, right? So we know that, okay, I'm just gonna do like this so we can reach the calculator here. But yeah guys, let's do the calculation on these guys. So we know that they have 2,800 daily visitors. Let's put their conversion rate a little bit low because they're selling more expensive products. So let's say 2,800 times, let's give them 0.8% conversion rate, okay? So times 0.008, that's gonna give us 22 purchases on a daily basis, and then multiply that by the average order value, which is probably gonna be around 250 pounds. That gives us a daily revenue of 5,600, multiply that by 30, and you'll get somewhere around 150, well actually more than that, 168,000 pounds in monthly revenue, okay? So obviously this is a larger e-commerce brand, but regardless to say, these guys are not very strong on ads at all. They're actually quite weak, and so reaching out to these guys could be interesting as well, okay? So guys, at this point we've gone through the 3 methods that you can utilize to find e-commerce clients specifically, and I've been recording for around 20 minutes now, and from my perspective we found 3 potential qualified leads. Okay, so coming back into my computer here, you'll see if we just drag that over here, we have our 3 qualified leads. Now we have 2 leads in the fashion niche, and we have 1 selling electronics, okay, so sports watches. Now guys, as I was saying, we've been doing this for just over 20 minutes at this point, and we've already found 3 qualified leads, okay, 1 with each method that I've showed you. So the first method was just doing a regular Google search, going to page 3, 4, 5, 6 plus, opening up a bunch of the different web shops that you find, and then qualifying them and finding potentially a qualified lead. The second one was using myip.ms, searching for popularity, so you could go anything between 200 to 800 in daily visitors, or you could go for the larger ones, which is like 1,000 to 5,000 plus. So that was the second method, which we used to find, I believe it was Purple Brand. I think we found Purple Brand using that method, and then we found the last qualified lead here was just Represent. We found that by searching for Purple Brand on Instagram and then just taking the path of the recommended Instagram accounts. Now guys, obviously I don't want this video to be 40 minutes long. We could have found a bunch of other qualified leads. Obviously, as I said, we've only been doing this for 20 minutes. So imagine if I had done this for 1.5 hours or 2 hours, then we could have found a bunch of more leads because I could have gone much deeper in the search on the qualified leads. It's literally just a funnel. It's literally just a maze. You click one profile, click the recommended, and it just takes you all around Instagram until you find a qualified lead. Same thing goes with the MyIP search. You can just keep going. We just looked on the first page right here, but as you can see, we can go between 300 to 1500. We can go from page 1 till page 34. Okay, so you can literally look through these pages both on MyIP and on Instagram for hours and hours on end. And the same thing goes for the first method, which was the Google search, but obviously you're not going to be able to look that far. Usually you want to be looking between page 2 and page 7. I'd say don't go much further than page 7, and obviously you're going to be searching for a specific product and then following that up by web shop. Okay, so those were the 3 methods. As I said, we found 3 qualified leads, and so we're going to use these 3 leads to record and send a loom in the next module. So yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next module.